telco partner of the MPL. Free to game great with smart free games for all. Meron na tayong winner para sa ating mythical raffle draw. Ito yung mga participants natin na nag-scan ng QR code at sinagot ang ating mga katanungan. Dito, marami kayong mga in-game prizes na mapapanalunan. We have 31,737 participants. Pipili na tayo ng ating winner. There you go! Makikita nyo dyan ang inyong number, MLID number, at yung yellow, yan yung inyong server number. Tignan nyo kung nandyan kayo. Take a screenshot. Pakita nyo sa lahat ng mga kaibigan nyo na kayo ang mananalo dito. At if you're one of the 10 winners, kailangan lang hintayin ang mensahe ng Moonton doon sa inyong app. So keep on checking to get your in-game prizes. Congratulations sa inyo. Kaya dapat lang talaga lagi kayong sumasagot sa ating quiz. So eto rin, meron din tayong live watching rewards. Meron kayong QR code na makikita dito. Kailangan nyo i-scan. Take a screenshot. First 30,000 kada game day mananalo. At meron tayong mga nagko-comment sa ating feed na nanalo na sila 2 beses. Pwede kayong manalo kada game day. Again, first 30,000. So mataas talaga ang chances nyo dyan para magkaroon ng full treasure chest. Good luck sa inyo. Meron din tayong Oppo A94 Diamond Giveaway. This giveaway is brought to you by Oppo A94. Live life at full speed. Ang tanong, how do you live your life at full speed? Kailangan lang sagutin ang aming tanong sa comment section gamit ang hashtag Live Life at Full Speed para magkaroon kayo ng 300 diamonds. Magsaselect kami, pipili kami ng random to random 5 lucky winners. Pero dapat maganda rin ang inyong mga sagot at dapat lalagay nyo how you live your life at full speed using the hashtag Live Life at Full Speed. Keep on making those comments. Brought to you by Oppo. 300 diamonds dyan. Ang dami nyo pwedeng mag-skin, pwedeng pandagdag ng starlight nyo, pwedeng pang-emote. Ito, MPL Philippines Season 7 is presented by Smart, the official tournament telco partner of the MPL. Break through your own limits, rise above, and be free to game great with free games for all. You can get 1 gig a day for Mobile Legends, Facebook Gaming, and more. Plus, meron kayong 1 gig a day for 7 days. Ang dami nun. Just dial *123# or download the Giga Life app na super convenient at piliin nyo doon yung free games. MPL Philippines Season 7 is also brought to you by Oppo A94. Experience gaming at full speed with the all-new Oppo A94. Get yours now for only 13,999 pesos. Sarap niya hawakan, napaka-clear niya, ang ganda din ng camera. MPL Philippines Season 7 is also presented by Head & Shoulders. Put your game face on and finally say goodbye to those awkward hashtag It's a GG moment. Kahit natitilt kayo, scratch kayo ng scratch ng ulo, 100% dandruff-free and itch-free. Now, max mabango pa. MPL Philippines Season 7 is also brought to you by Master. Bring your clay game with the new Master All-in-One Clay Wash. Ito ang sekreto ng mga gwapo. And believe us, we notice the skin. Eto, kasama ko sa ating panel, napaka-sipag nila kasi galing sila sa broadcast sa Tagalog at English. Nandito si Ranmar the Raptor and Manjin Faldas!
What's up?
What's good?
What's good? Ang init nga nung action, no?
Oo,
Nagutom,
sobra, diba?
kumain ka kagad
Kakakain
pagkatapos
ko
ng
lang
ng mga games eh.
Sakto, prime time. Yung buong araw natin ngayon, parang isa sa mga longest day kasi lahat ng games, intense. Lahat lagpas 15 minutes.
Oh, and hindi pa tapos yung araw. One more series pa and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be just as intense as our first two.
Ang ganda talaga ng labanan natin ngayon. ONIC-PH kontra Omega Esports. Etong ONIC, 4 straight victories. Talagang pinapatunayan nila na isa sila sa mga pinakamainit na kupunan ngayong Season 7. Kalaban nila ngayon yung Omega. They were gonna go for the 3rd straight win, pero kahapon, na 2-0 sila ng next play at maraming nasupresa dito. So, babawi.
O kailangan lang nila talaga kasi yun yung pinapag-usapan natin throughout is ang init talaga ng race dun sa Group B. Every point matters, every win matters. So kailangan nila mag-bounce back dito.
Parang nagta-triangle kasi yung mga teams na nangyayari. Week 3, 2-0-2-0 kayo. Tapos week 4, 0-2-0-2 kayo. Every Sunday, I think, ang pinaka dapat importanteng mapanalo nyo. Kasi ito yung napipigilan nyo nakakuha kayo ng puntos sa other group.
Exactly.
So parehas importante itong match na to para sa ONIC at Omega.
ONIC-PH now with 6 wins, only 2 losses, sitting at the 3rd place. Kilala natin ang ating mga manlalaro sa ONIC Philippines. was one point na ang ONIC nasa bottom sila. Paakyat ng paakyat, talagang mahirap naman talaga sa Group A yung competition natin doon. But now, 4th straight victories. Let's talk about everything right that ONIC is doing that we want to see in this game.
Ang gusto ko lang emphasize dito is talagang step up yung mga players nila dito. One player to take note is Kyrie, na binansagan the future. At meron pang isa para sa akin, may pagka-underrated siya para sa akin, si Hate. Sa kanyang jungle na hindi mo napapansin na ito minsan yung nare-revolve around yung laro ng ONIC.
Well, yung maganda din naman kasi sa ONIC is lahat sa kanila at one point pwede mag-activate and then suddenly sila magiging MVP ng match. Like, you can count from all of the positions. Kahit nga si Marky, 6-man, for the longest time, hindi natin nakita. Pagpasok niya, nakukuha siya ng isang MVP game. So, ONIC-PH at any given point, ready sila to have an MVP performance.
Tamang-tama, nagsistep up talaga lahat. Tingnan natin kung maglalaro ulit si Marky ngayon. Ayan nga,
he's
di ba?
back.
Dilar, Hate, Marky, Jay, and Kyrie.
Naging effective sa kanila to, no? Kasi kung iisipin mo, ang laki ng shoes na pinill up ni Marky. Pero kung iisipin mo rin kasi medyo magkaiba yung spice nung lineup nung hero pool nila ni Iyakto eh. So may part sa akin na na-discover ng ONIC to, o sige, lagay natin sometimes si Marky or si Iyakto para malito yung kalaban.
Yeah, and at the same time, there's a part of me na parang hindi masyadong surprise. Kasi pagkakausap natin si Ocho Gahaba na ma-mention niya yung effect ni Marky sa group nila. Of course, a lot of the 6 men in the squad, parang kahit hindi natin sila nakikita na maglaro throughout the season, off-screen, ang ganda yung epekto nila na maglalapag din sila ng analysis, magtutulong sila doon. And now, Marky, I'm sure he did that off-screen as well, and ngayon, he was able to show up in the games mismo.
Mga kalaban ng ONIC-PH ang isang koponan na talagang nais bumawi, lalo na sa naganap kahapon. Ito ang Omega Esports. Itong Omega, 4 wins, 5 losses. Kinailangan talaga nila yung panalo kahapon, pero lahat nagulat. What happened yesterday? At ano ba dapat yung baguhin nila para hindi maulit yon ngayong araw na to?
Well, for Omega, nangyari is nasupresa lang talaga sila sa aggression na nilabas ng NXP, which is surprising kasi alam na natin na NXP is one of the most aggressive early game teams, especially pag nabigyan mo ng playmaking tank dito sa Yawi. Pero mag-initiate at initiate lang yun. But then, I think Omega, they tried to play a little bit more, parang mas conservative sila, a little bit defensive. But then, I think it wasn't just, Omega, di maganda yung araw nila. At the same time,
may ganun silang araw. Biktima sila dito na 2 beses na ng the split, ano ba ito natawag? Basta the split.
The split.
the team split. And ayaw na nila maulit yun ever.
Ito ang mga manlalaro na gustong bumawi. Curtizi, Hajizi, Heath, Kenji, Toshi.
Yeah. Nabanggit ko kanina na meron ako player na tinitingnan for ONIC. Sa Omega naman, nakikita ko this time ay si Kurt TZ na minsan nasa kanya yung bola na pinapasa niya rin kay Toshi. So talagang step up dito lahat ng players. And yes, maglalaro this time si Heath.
He's back.
Babalik! Oh.
Si Mr. Fundamental. And for now, hindi natin makikita si Hayes in action kasi hindi siya kasama doon sa lineup na yun. It's gonna be Curtizi pa rin, nasa mid lane. So, shake up to para sa Omega. Baka ito yung parang mid-season shake up na kailangan nila to bounce back.
Ang head-to-head matchup natin, ito yung collision of contenders. Ito yung dalawang koponan na pwede silang mapunta sa ating upper bracket. Kasi parang 2 lives to eh. Pag nasa upper bracket ka, meron kang try again. Pero pag nasa lower bracket ka, may isang life ka lang.
Yeah.
1 point behind ngayon ang, if I'm not mistaken, NXP. Sa Omega, 14 points para sa Omega, 13 para sa NXP. So, I think Omega are gonna be eyeing talaga here at 2-0. I mean, all teams want to win, pero as much as possible, 2-0 para safe pa rin sila dyan sa upper bracket na yan. And they need to win this. And para sa akin lang, there's a part of me that's saying, dahil sa previous games, parang mas maganda yung form ngayon ng ONIC dito going into this match.
Halos pareha sila no? Saktong-sakto yung title natin kasi ito yung 2 teams na naka 0-2 na to 2-0. Tapos may pagka-inconsistent talaga.
Tignan natin kung sino nga ba ang may mas magandang numero. ONIC is still one of the best. It shows in the stat ha. Itong ONIC, meron silang 8 matches.
Oh.
Ang Omega, 9 matches, pero mas maganda ang numero ng ONIC.
Yeah, and yung surprising talaga para sa akin dito will be the unique heroes pick. 33 pa lang ang ONIC-PH, so marami pa silang hindi pinapakita throughout the season. Andun pa rin yung mentality na nila, especially from the previous years na nandiyan pa si Oh My Venus. Kung gumagana naman, laro natin. And it shows. And going into this late in the season, parang magandang magandang boost yun kasi marami ka pang pwede ilaro na hindi mo pa napakita.
Yeah. I think ang nagiging effective dito sa ONIC is given na mas lesser yung kanilang unique hero pick, is meron silang mas onti yung options nila na playstyle na mas master na nila. Unlike na nasa nakikita ko sa Omega, meron silang mga weeks na I'm not really sure kung experiment week or not, and then bigla nilang babaguhin of the upcoming weeks. So sa tingin ko doon nagkakaroon ng factor ang Omega na may pagka-overthink para sa akin.
Potentially.
May mga manlalaro tayo, malaki ang factor para sa kanilang koponan. Jake, Kyrie, Hate.
Look at that KDA, man. 8.42 para kay Kyrie. Again, the MVP week na nung week 4.
Yeah.
Para kay Kyrie, he had that series against Signal nung game 2 and 3. 20 plus kills, 20 plus assists, no deaths.
Yeah.
Grabe yun.
Given na mid at hindi siya yung jungler, na isa siya sa mga matataas ng KDA. Again, sobrang bright ng future para dito kay Kyrie.
Yeah.
And there are players then that's shining bright para sa Omega, Toshi Cortese, Hajizi.
Ito yung trio besties ng Omega, the youngest of them all sa kanilang squad, na may mga times na merong ito yung bida, may mga times din na ito yung bida. Gusto ko lang i-take note dito yung capability din ni Cortese, nabanggit ko nga kanina. May mga times kasi na hindi siya yung nagki-killer mage. And may mga times na siya yung healing mage. So talagang doon pa lang nakikita mo na nagsi-switch up ang team ng Omega.
Yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Consistency has always been yung kailangan ng Omega throughout the season. Again, very experimental, ang dami nilang sinubukan, hit or miss. The question for this series is, hit ba ngayon ang strategy nila laban sa ONIC?
May mga manlalaro tayo na talagang laging bida, working for consistency mula sa jungler role. Hate, Hajizi.
I like it. I like the matchup dito. Para sa akin, halos magkaparehas din sila ng playstyle na Gedli Tapos tsaka papasok. And both of them, they really know kung kailan yung tamang pasok. Siguro magkakataluhan lang to sa battle ng mga magiging supports nila.
Yeah, featured a player comparison ngayon, but yeah, these are two players talaga na alam nila yung kailangan nila gawin depending on the movement of their supports. Kung mag-agree sila, they know sometimes, okay, hold back muna ako, papasok na kaagad ko. They know how to pull the trigger at the exact moment here. And there are some people there na siguro isipin nila na si Hate, mataas yung tendency niya to be aggressive at times. Yes, that's true, pero pinakita din naman ni Hajizi throughout the season that meron din siyang moments na yung killer instinct niya lalabas talaga.
I-predict din natin yung movement sa mapa at saan nga ba papasok ang ating mga manlalaro.
Interesting to na nakabalik si Heat sa lineup. So baka makakita tayo dito ng mga like tank setup heroes. Siguro Jawhead, Atlas or Kufra na nauuso nga ngayon.
Yes.
Grak ay pwede rin makapasok dito sa lineup nila.
Lumalabas si Grak at multiple times, and other than the positioning of Heath and his role in this game here, titignan ko din talaga yung matchup dito ni Marky and Toshi. Again, Marky showed up. Tignan natin kung makontinue niya yung momentum na yun lawan kay Toshi.
It's the collision of contenders and nada ang huling serye ngayong linggo. Simulan na natin to, bakbaka na! Shoutcasters, pasok!
Maraming salamat, Binibining Mara Aquino, and of course, to Renmar and to Manjin. Sa inyong lingkod ako nga pala si Leo, kasama natin dito si Rob Luna. MPL Philippines Season 7 is presented by Smart, the official tournament telco partner of the MPL. Free game great with Smart, free games for all. ONIC-PH laban sa Omega Esports. Rob Luna, maraming salamat at nakapag-usap tayo at nag-share tayo ng mga thoughts dito. Men, meron ka ng predictions na parang pag nanalo ang isang team sa Game 1, parang makikita na natin kung ano ang malamang na pwede mangyari.
Yes, and I'm really looking forward kung parang medyo momentum-based yung dalawang team na to.
Sa matchup na to.
Sa matchup na to. Sasabihin ko lahat yan during the drafting phase. Pero excited ako dito kasi Omega, kung makikita mo dun kanina sa discussion nila, Mara, grabe yung hero pool nila. Like, 10 yung lamang nila against ONIC-PH. Meanwhile, for ONIC naman, they were on a winning streak dito sa atin sa Season 7 on Week 5.
Yep, and of course, ONIC Philippines, making a beeline, diretso sila, pwede pa sila mag-upper bracket dito. But right now, we'd like to remind you, as we continue to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic, we encourage everyone to follow the government's health and safety protocols. This includes practicing social distancing, wearing of face masks and face shields, sanitizing, proper hand washing, and staying at home as much as possible. Let's all do our part to stay safe and help stop COVID-19. Rob, malapit na magsimula ang draft. Matanong lang kita, sa tingin mo ba may bago na naman tayong makita? Dahil sa araw na to, sa huling araw ng Week 5, nailabas na ng Work Roster Force ang Sicilian. Just a week late ago, I think, if I'm not mistaken, naglabas ng Carmilla ang Omega. Tapos kahapon lang naglabas sila ng Glue. Sa tingin mo ba matadagdagan na naman ang unique heroes pick ng Omega?
Malay natin, baka makakita tayo ng side lane na Belleric dito. Pero kasi yung mga ganong klase ng yung marami kayong ginagamit pero hindi nagiging consistent, medyo nagkakaroon nagtoll din sa sa mismong drafting nila.
Just sa points.
Yes, definitely sa point, and a much needed for the side of Omega since medyo roller coaster ang ating Group B na parang naglalaro yung 2, 3, 4 natin in terms of point. And even LPE bumabawi pa kinokon sa pag-contest doon sa top spot sa Group B.
Wala tayong pwedeng sabihing out na sa Group B. Here we go. Nagsimula na ang ating draft. This is brought to you by Smart, the official tournament telco partner of the MPL Omega Esports. Sila ang maninimula. Blue side, sasagot ang ONIC Philippines. Selena at Angela tinanggal ng Omega Esports. ONIC-PH, Diggy at Popoling Kupa.
I like the Selena ban, and we've seen this countless of times kay Kyrie.
Lethal.
Na, kahit sabihin natin, hindi siya, yung early game presence niya, kahit papunta sa late game, di ba, most of the time, Selena, pagka sa early game talagang ramdam mo, tapos pagka nakabawi yung kalaban nyo, during the late game, medyo kinakapos na. Pero,
fall off.
Yung positioning kasi ni Kyrie, sobrang commendable. And not only that, kailangan mo rin isipin itong bata na to, ang dami niyang pwedeng gamitin. Yung Kagura niya, isa to sa hinahangaan ko talaga dito for Kyrie. And not to mention, etong si Marky with a 5Y, talagang hindi pa nagkakaroon ni isang talo in a series simula nung naglaro siya.
Kamunti ka nang hindi magkasya ang pangalan ni Kuya mo Marky. Sitting in for Iyaknu. Actually, nakaka-surprise. Again, pinag-usapan natin kanina na ang ganda ng pasok ni Marky. 100% series win so far para sa binatang ito na nasa gold lane ng ONIC Philippines. Pakito, tinanggalan ng Omega Esports, ONIC-PH. Pinag-usapan natin kanina, Rob. Selena, good respect ban. Pero ngayon anong open para sa Omega Esports na dapat pansinin ng ONIC?
Actually, ang dami. Benedetta is still on the table. And kung papansinin mo, ONIC-PH, ang dami rin nilang napupull off ng mga strategy. And kung papansinin mo, isa rin sila sa mga team na nakakapag-fully utilize ng isang lane ng matchup. So, kung titignan mo rito for Omega Esports, there's a high chance na kunin na nila kagad dito yung Johed
Matilda?
and Matilda.
Ang daming open!
Exactly. Ito kasi yung way ng drafting ng dalawang coach natin. Why not? And of course, si Riona. In order for you to get something, you have to give something as well. So, willing ibigay dito ng ONIC ang Johed as long as makuha nila possibly ang Matilda or the other way around.
Tingnan natin, first pick ng Omega Esports, gonna be the Eve. Ito ang sinasabi natin. Ladies and gentlemen, Eve on Curtizi currently is sitting at a very high win rate. Sobrang taas.
Yes, and nakita na natin to. Ito yung parang may mga tangent pang sinasabi si Kuya
May
Bull.
formula.
Oo, yung nilalapagan pa nila lang mga Zaman Force or pwede mo ang samahan pa ng Bane. Pero meanwhile, for ONIC-PH, medyo bruskuhan yung pick nila dito. Leo, meron sila rito Johed kagad and this back siya. Na sa mga previous series natin, gumagana talaga. Is one of the things na pang soak up and pag-absorb ng damage. Pwede rin niyang gamitin pampasok sa loob ng real-world manipulation.
J-Head, I feel. Yan ang gagamitin hero ni Jay.
Eksakto.
Natawa ka dun, no?
Yeah. Medyo, kasi, ang dami kasing pwede.
Lahat ng hero ni Jay may pangalan.
May pangalan.
Nandun yung pangalan niya.
Pag nagkaja, Kajay.
Pero,
or
Kuya Rob, pansinin mo first time na mag-J-Head. First time mag-J-Head ni Jay dito sa MPL Season 7.
Kasi highly contested talaga yung hero na yan.
Never binibigay.
Most of the time, nasa ban yan and na-open yan right at this moment against Omega Esports. Pero for the side of Omega Esports, mukhang kukuha na sila kagad dito ng And by the way, mind you, Kuya Leo, si Hit nga ang maglalaro dito.
Yeah.
So, makakakita tayo, we've seen him play. Of course, ako ina-assume ko na rito, Leo, na ito ay isang tank Chu. And knowing Heat, isa sa mga player na mahilig sa mga invade, mahilig siya sa mga ganitong klase ng hero, the mobility, and medyo nagtaka nga ako kasi isa sa pinaka-paboritong hero ni Heat is actually the Johed.
Na inopen lang nila. But again, they're trading it for the Eve. Na 100% win rate dito kay Curtizy. Now, ONIC Philippines, ilalock in na nila ang kanilang core na sagot sa Granger ni Hajizi. Hate's gonna be playing the Harley.
Oh, wow. I like the early aggression coming from ONIC-PH dito. We've seen Hate use this hero na talagang, parang lalo na pag nauna siya nag-level 4. Well, sasabay naman sa kanya dito yung Granger. Pero what I want sa mga Harley user is that yung bilis ng rotation nila going into the first objective, of course, that's gonna be the turtle. And in terms of contention, sasabay naman dito yung Omega Esports. Pero given kasi itong Jace with the Johed, pwedeng manggulo dito sa side ng Omega Esports. And kung titignan mo, they have this back siya, ay pwede mo ang sabihin dito, Kuya Leo, parehas pwedeng mag-leash yung back siya and as well itong Johed.
Oo, matik. And again, ang itsura ng mapa currently for ONIC Philippines, kahit hindi pa nagsimula ang game, humihingi sila ng energy yan. Energy ball.
Energy ball.
Mula sa ONIC-PH community.
Oh
Kung
my.
fan kayo ng ONIC-PH, taas nyo na yung kamay nyo. Kailangan ng ONIC-PH ang tulong ninyo. I was gonna say, Rob, check this out. Magsisimula ang unang laban sa Turtle Pit. Tama?
Yep.
So, lane yun ni Dilar. So, siya ang nakaback siya. Tapos, nandun si Jay. Nandyan din si Hate. Automatic at least isang pick-off. Tapos, usually, ang isang Harley mahina sa Turtle Take Given yung single target kit niya. Pero, dahil dito sa dalawang tong unang pick nila, medyo secured.
Yan ang magzo-zone out din talaga for the members of Omega Esports So, paano, kumbaga guys, iniisip na namin kagad dito kung or rather ina-anticipate na namin dito kung paano yung magiging rotation dito. It's either ito bang Johed ay gagamitin pang leash, or is this Johed will be used to invade dito yung Granger ni HGC para hindi siya makakuha ng kanyang early buff at mas mauna mag-level 4 dito si Hate.
Habang inaantay natin dito ang ban ng ONIC-PH at ang huling ban ng Omega Esports. Kirab, may napansin ako, isang kulang sa lineup ng ONIC-PH.
Ano yun?
Na very important kasi doon sa tatlo pa lang na to may chance na mag-fall off yan. So inisip natin ngayon, anong scaling hero ni Marky?
Oh wow, that's a very good question. There's a possibility yung Harit dito na magamit ni Marky since binan na ngayon ng Omega rito yung Chango na isa sa mga hero na nagiging successful din talaga sa kanya. And kung iisipin mo nga, that Harit could potentially be the late game hero, or baka makakita tayo dito possible a Claude on the side lane since open pa naman siya rito on the draft. And since sabi mo nga ito back siya na to, that's gonna be the turtle laner will be Dilar. So kung titignan natin, ang wala na lang natin dito is yung hero ni Marky and as well ni Kyrie.
The
And
future.
ako ang iniisip ko rito for Kyrie, Kagura.
KK.
Yes.
Kyrie's Kagura.
Kyrie's Kagura.
Kagura
Nakita
ni Kyrie.
natin kanina yung ayaw na.
Ayaw
ng
na.
Omega Esports.
Good ban.
We've seen it earlier during the Aura-PH match. Benny Cutie using this Kagura na on its full extent. Ayaw na yung makita ng Omega Esports. Pero may sagot naman dito ang ONIC. Might as well get the Farsa.
Which ONIC-PH has never played. Walang Farsa pa si Kyrie sa MPL Season 7. And ito yung importante dyan. Kahit si Marky wala pa. Marky's only played 2 heroes. Harith and Chang'e. Pero pwede to
Yes, ako ini-expect ko to, it would be a Marky hero. Pero ito, or rather, pwede nga to kay Kyrie kasi
Pwede
parang
rin.
mabibitin Ang pinaka iniisip ko na lang dito talaga na parang a late game scaling hero nila, it's probably a Claude.
1-1.
1-1 could be a good choice as well. Kaso, pwede kasi siyang mabura kagad Like for example, itong real world manipulation, parang mahirap pumasok.
Too much burst.
Too much burst. Pero another glue for Omega Esports, Leo.
And ito na nga yung glue na sumasakay sa dragon. Ito yung glue na sumasakay sa dragon na panood natin kahapon.
Yes.
Who'd have thunk na may ganong interaction? Pero Rob, medyo delikado
Malagoku yung galaw ni Kuya Kenji no? Head chala.
Lunox. I feel like Lunox.
Well, good
Wala na scaling. Feeling ko, ONIC-PH is gonna throw it out the window. No scaling.
Parang early game na lang, no? Parang i-run down na lang natin sila and get HGC off, tapos tunawin natin sila. Yeah, it's actually a good point. Pero yun yung iniisip ngayon dito ng ONIC-PH. will they be securing a late game hero or early mid game centric ang kanilang draft? But Esmeralda ang kanilang pipiliin, Leo.
Solid. Again, they were looking for scaling. Actually, surprise daw dito. Kuya Rob, walang, kasi Bansi Lunox. Okay, ngayon lang nagpakita na Bansi Lunox.
Yes, wala rin siya kanina.
That's why it's Esmeralda. Pero pwede rin ang Alice. Pero mahihirapan masyado kung kalinya si si Harit.
Yes.
Alice is open.
Saka this is very interesting, Leo. I mean, the Esmeralda we know. So, this is most likely a damage type of Esmeralda, yung nagkakalamity Reaper, Holy Crystal. Kasi may mga ibang type ng mga Esmeralda na nag-go for like a tank type.
Brute Force.
Brute Force, Breastplate, yan. Tapos Dominance Ice, yung mga ganon. Pero pseudo tank. Pero hindi nila kasi kailangan yun since meron silang Jawhead, meron din naman silang Baksha.
And I like this. Again, ONIC Philippines, magandang atake nila. Pero yung Omega Esports, sobrang exotic talaga nung glue. How do you like the glue?
So far on MPL dito sa atin,
Maganda ba? Yung nakita mo kay Kenji kahapon?
medyo sketchy pa siya sa akin.
Mahirap.
Pero kasi, ito kasi yung point, yung tinitignan ko and rather pinapanood ko si Kenji, nakikita ko na he's actually trying to control.
Maganda yung concept.
Oo, parang hinahatak niya papasok ng torre nila para doon magulo, ma-disrupt yung kung sino man yung pinatungan netong glue na to.
But we'll see kung tataas ba, magiging 50-50 ba ang win rate ng isang glue. Here we go, Omega Esports laban sa ONIC Philippines. Parehong core ang sinimulan, orange buff.
Oh yes. So makikita natin. So ito nga magiging in terms of laning dito, I would say itong si Dilar mas makakalamang siya dito against kay Kenji in the laning phase. That's one of the reason bakit binabantayan na rin kagad siya dito ni Hit.
Yeah.
So yeah. Going back, pinag-usapan natin to kanina in terms of our early rotation, mas magiging madali or rather mas magiging okay for ONIC-PH dahil meron silang Baksha. Tapos andito pa yung kanilang Jawhead. Tapos mauuna pang mag-level 4 possibly itong si Hate. So at this point, naghihintayan lang tayo. Medyo slow pace itong early game natin and most likely itong unang turtle yung magsisimula talaga ng laban natin dito, Leo.
Yes, actually both lineups mas maganda kung may level 4. Si Jay nag-aantay lang siya ng yan. Smart Missiles and Ejector. So medyo lethal na ang pag-face check dito. Heath, medyo kailangan niya pa i-set up yung kanyang CC So mas libre to para kay kuya mo Jay. Now, face check. Heath, bumabanda lang, looking for it, tumi-TikTok.
Sinusubukan lang nilang i-cancel and that's a good try for Jay kasi madidelay ng konti yung level 4 doon ng Granger. So far, both core natin dito level 4 na and 10 seconds in, doon pa lang yung turtle. So right now, mas yung tempo nasa ONIC since mas mabilis silang umikot sa mapa. Diba? We have the ejector, syempre may move speed yan, tapos may hat trick pa tayo dito sa kay Hate. So ikot dito sila ang magsisimula talaga ng laban like that. Hit almost dying pero he died.
Confirmed na Deadly Magics na Ejector.
Oh no.
J-Head.
Pwedeng ulit-ulitin ng ONIC-PH yung ganong setup. Like pag bato nyo na, Deadly Magic with the poker tricks, tuloy-tuloy na yun.
Naka-burn pa sila ng flicker pero ngayon maganda ang forma ng ONIC-PH. Easy turtle para sa kanila. May contest. Jay, tatamaan dito ng real world manipulation. Isang sabog na lang. Down goes the Jawhead. Makakabawi ba si Kyrie? Kinulang ng damage. Wings, on wings, palayo. At may bawi ang Omega.
Wow, nabawian nila yon. May immobilize kasi, diba, dun sa dulo ng real world manipulation and that Death Sonata securing the kill against that Jawhead. Pero so far dito, Leo, Marky, he's having a great time sa may top lane. Halos kalahati na yung energy shield. So, we will be seeing in a while na isang farm na Esmeralda.
And this shows you really how talented a kind of player Marky is. Not wait lang, si Hit natamaan ng Deadly Magics pero mamba out muna dito. Kyrie popping the feathered airstrike para lang mag-clear. Kenji, split, makakakuha ba siya ng grab. Jay, pinapasabugan siya ng Smart Missiles. Baback out muna and sabi ng ONIC, okay, wala na siyang ult. Mamaya na ulit.
Yes, and so far, Leo, almost 1,000 lead for ONIC-PH. Ito na ngayon ang nagiging problema nila dito. Hit, medyo na-delay yung kanyang level 4. Hindi tuloy sila makakita ng pang-initiate. Hindi nila magamit as initiation itong tank tune nila. And most mas nauunahan kasi sila palagi ng ONIC-PH, even dun sa mga positions. Pero ito, sisimula na yata ni Hit.
Tingnan natin. Oh, Way of the Dragon sa isang Joy. Ejector, pabawi. Pero kinulang. Isang sabog plus turrets. Kyrie, wings by wings out. In comes Dilar. Naghahanap pa siya dito. Hindi pa siya nag-ult. Wala na siyang ult. That's going to be nice timing by Omega. Mukhang kukulangin ng bawi. Feathered airstrike into the flame strike. Na miss pa. Curtizy, 1 HP.
1 HP indeed. Muntikan na yon, medyo pumaling lang ng konti doon yung mga baraha ni Hate. Pero so far, ang ganda na ng pagsimula doon ng OMG, yung pagsipa. Pero yun nga lang, ang bilis ng counter-engage ng ONIC-PH.
Isa pa! Way of the Dragon ni Heat. Sisimulan na. Full combo. Tatamaan si Hate. Papasabugin. Down he goes. Sa GZ nakakuha ng kill. Sinakyan na ni Kenji si Jay. Jawhead. Nako. Glue plus a robot. Dalawa. Magkasama yung baby girl. Now, Dilar mananack up. Pero there's strike dito ni Kyrie. Sasabog na rin si Heat. Back out sa ni Kenji. Bawi. 1 for 1.
1 for 1 nga, pero ito, sinubukan ni GC na simulan doon yung turtle, pero so far, nakita natin ngayon na that's split, or rather the ultimate coming from Glue came into play, and so far, medyo nahirapan si Jay, medyo nagulo, na-disrupt yung ating Jawhead doon. That's one of the reason kailangan niya mag-back away. Pero kung papansinin mo, no, kapag kapatay ni Heat, pagbalik niya, meron na kagad siya, sakto lang yung death timer niya to the Way of the Dragon, initiate kagad. So, ngayon, mapapansin natin, it's more about Omega taking the fights. Kasi, pagka, napansin na, yung kay Heat di ba, na-combo nila kagad yung Harley ni Heat, sobrang squishy, kaya nila kagad mag-1 sa team fight.
Yep, so medyo, Rob, ang story dito is paunahan bumunot.
Yes.
Kung mauna ang Omega, hindi na kayang mag-in ni ONIC, and this all-in strategy will have to rely on Marky in the end.
Exactly, pero I would like to point out the item dito ni Marky, Azure Blade 2. And that is very sustainable. Diba? Kumbaga, pwede kang mag-ready na magbuo ng Calamity Reaper. Pwede mo ring i-ready yon going into a Thunder Belt. A very wise itemization coming from Marky dito.
Yep.
Or rather, coming from Toshi.
Oo, early investment.
Yes.
Kumbaga, early investment. Nagulat rin ako dito, tumitingin, pero kay Toshi pala.
Nasanay kasi akong harit si Marky. I'm really sorry. Pero it was Toshi with the itemization ng Azure Blade.
Nako, mukhang madadali dito si Kuya mo Dilar, already using the Revitalize, pero Wave the Dragon Heat dito sa ilalim ng torre. This is dangerous. ONIC-PH, alam nilang kaya nilang mag-juggle, pero ito na, grab, split, combo, nakadalawa ng libre ang Omega sa ONIC.
A slow start from Omega, pero since nung nag-hit si Heat ng level 4, tuloy-tuloy na nagagawa na nila ng paraan dito. So far, lamang pa rin naman dito ang ONIC-PH with the mirror na pagbasag doon sa outer turret on the top lane. Pero hindi kailangan ng pansinin din ng ONIC-PH tong tong bottom lane, itong kay Kenji.
Ang lalim noon, Kenji. Ngayon, tatalonan. Ejector na mali ng target dahil nag-flicker out si Kuya mo Glue. Rob, so far, ito yata ang tamang gamit ng Glue. Ito ang gustong gawin ng Omega.
Mukhang ito na yata. This might be the first win na makikita natin on this hero. And Kenji, hindi kinapos man nung huling beses niya itong ginamit. Mukhang ito na yata yung tamang pagkakataon. And nasusupplement din siya ng ng mga vision na pinoprovide ni Heat, pati yung initiation with the Way of the Dragon. Pero kung papansinin mo yung positioning in the map, it's all about ONIC-PH. Meron lang ito, tignan mo dito si Heat, naghahanap siya ngayon na masisipa.
Oh, feathered airstrike, pero sasagot dito. Real world manipulation. Heat sasabog na, pero sa kabila, sa likod. Actually, si Kyrie papasabugin niya GZ. That's 1 for 1. At tank for a core. Good trade yun para sa Omega, pero yun sinakyan na ni Kenji. Split, grab onto Hate. Wala namang magawa si Dilar. I think this is the way you deal with it.
Ang lakas manggulo nung Glue I mean, gusto mo nang umalis sa laban, binabalik ka pa niya. And that is one of the strength of this hero. And lalo na kung hindi nyo siya maa-address agad, and more often than not, hindi mo talaga, dahil makunat itong hero na to. So ngayon, na-open ngayon ang mapa for Omega. And paano i-address to ng ONIC-PH?
Yup, again, ONIC-PH isa sa mga unang lumaban sa Glue ng Signal Ultra. Dilar nabuhay pa nga, but only for 1 more second. Courtesy, pinabagsak na ang back siya ng General. Ngayon, the very last turtle gonna go over to Omega.
This is a very good Granger game para kay GC, our KDA machine. Mukhang nag-online na yata ulit.
Medyo nalangisan na. Ready na, nag-init na. Parang diesel engine ngayon. Real manipulation. This is a no-go zone para sa ONIC-PH. Si Jay papasabugin sa likod. Tira mo si Marky. Sumasayaw-sayaw na lang. Kenji, wala pa siyang ginagamit na ult. Oh, there's the split. Nope. Hinantay. Hinahawakan niya. Wala pa siyang ult. Nagamit niya na. Ang tagal ng cooldown.
Ang tagal ng cooldown. Pero may kita mo doon I mean, sustainable kahit papaano dito yung ating Esmeralda and Hit. Oh, wow. That's a good Shunpo out. And going back doon sa nangyari na yun, nahihirapan yung ONIC-PH dun sa real world manipulation. Once na nilapag ni Courtesy yun, it's only Marky as capable to go into the backlanes dito ng Omega. Pero the rest, naso-show off na sila.
Oo. Ang ginagawa ni Curtizzi so far, nakikita ko dito, Rob, is ginagawa niyang zoning. Kasi kung hindi siya zoning, ibig sabihin, nakapatay na kayo.
Yes.
So, ibig sabihin nun, you have to deal with the rest of Omega, tapos saka sila lalaban. Tinan mo naman yung line ng Omega. Ang taas ng uptime nila. Hindi kailangan ng Granger na ult. Actually, pantapos niya lang yung ult.
Saka hindi rin kasi nakakapwesto si Kyrie Kasi kadalasan, nandun rin siya sa loob ng real world manipulation. So, uunahin niya munang lumabas before he actually used the Feather Airstrike. And this was provided by the vision of this show. So, kung papansinin mo rito, si Heat lagi siyang pasugod. Lagi siyang nag-face check. Lagi niyang pinupuntahan dito yung mga squishy heroes ng ONIC-PH.
And whether or not mamatay siya, that is a mission accomplished. Pero ito, tingnan natin, Marky, papasabugan na. Real world manipulation, once more, down goes Esmeralda na. Isa pa nga, Kyrie susunod na din. Revitalize si Kuya Modilar, will help a little, but not enough. Down he goes, double for the machine. Magkakaisa pa ba? Jay sa likod, tumatakbo na. GC, isang bala lang, pero buhay pa. 2, 3 for none. Dito, para sa Omega, saan sila maghahanap ng objective?
What a perfect team fight yon, Leo. And to answer your question, top lane ang magiging sagot kung saan sila babasag. Even the the inner turret dito sa gitna, kayang-kaya na nila kunin yan. So, right at this point, Omega na ngayon. Nasa kanila na yung bola. Pero, yung pinaka nila dito is time and time, itong real world manipulation ni Curtizzi is doing wonders for this team. Look at the itemization. Pakunat nga yung gamit niya, hindi nga nag-damage siya, hindi nga siya yung usual na Ice Queen Wand.
Oo, ang gusto dito ni Curtizzi is kung saan mangyari yung laban, sige ipipilit natin. Pero kung lumayo kayo, okay lang kasi lamang na kami dun Onyx lineup, Rob, malakas siya kapag sila nagsasabi kung saan mangyayari yung laban. Pero the mere fact na kapag sinabi ni Curtizzi, hindi, dito tayo maglalaban. Ay, nako, Onyx, out na.
Saka somehow negated din yung mga magic damage. Halos
Oracle.
dalawang members, they have Oracle. Yung dalawang tank nila, naka-Athena Shield. Ngayon, confident ang Omega na kunin tong unang Lord.
Tingnan natin, mukhang marireset pa nga. Dilar, naghahanap, back siya, Unite. Tumitingin. Kenji, right in the middle, na-ejector. There's the feathered airstrike, pero sasagutan ng real world manipulation. Natamaan ng dalawa, ng tatlo. Si Marky, pero ngayon Kyrie ang susunod. Hajizi finishes the job. Si Heat, buhay pa. Zaman Force dito, gustong-gusto ito siya laban na to sa masikip, pero mukhang trade na lang, 1-for-1. Kyrie for Kenji.
Yes, that was it. Kyrie, munti ka na rin mabuhay doon si Kenji, kaso hinabol pa rin siya onto the back lanes. So, ngayon, medyo magkakaroon tayo ng konting reset, pero so far, dito, Leo, kung titignan mo rito sa ating mapa, parang mas kontrolado talaga to ng Omega, pero mag-i-initiate dito sila. Right at this point, kung papansinin mo, hindi na ganon kalakas or kasakit yung damage ng Deadly Magic ni Heat.
And if anything, parang nagdadalawang isip si Hate kung papasukin niya kasi posibleng may nag-aantay sa may bush. Again, yun ang nakita natin dito, nag-aabang lang si Curtizzi, nag-aabang si Heat, and right now, tingnan natin si Jay, tatamaan ng Way of the Dragon, pero out muna kasi nga yung ONIC sobrang apprehensive na ayaw na muna nilang lumaban.
Yep. Pero kailangan maging maingat pa rin dito ng Omega. Si Marky ang X-Factor ngayon dito ng ONIC-PH. We've seen him tank at least 5 members, especially pag online yung kanyang Purify. Kaya niyang sumabay. Pero pwede nating sabihin, pag pinatungan naman siya dito ni Kenji, baka magulo. Look at the itemization dito ngayon ng Esmeralda. Naka-brute force siya, enchanted, and Calamity Reaper. I may say dito, Leo, hindi pa enough yung damage na yan dahil ang kukunat ng mga nandito sa side ng Omega ngayon.
Dahil sa nangyari na sa early to mid game dito, we're approaching the late. Si Marky, nakala natin mag-full on magic damage. Nagbago, parang sige, buo muna akong brute force para tumagal tayo konti.
Hindi rin kasi kaya Masakit na rin yung damage kasi ni JC Kailangan niya rin talagang mag-konting kunat with the brute force.
At saka ni Toshi.
Exactly.
Now picking up the feather.
So ngayon, Leo mukhang iko-contesto ng ONIC-PH.
Pero hindi, Kenji ngayon, ma-ejector, pero si Marky ang mahuhuli. Zaman Force na lapagan na. That's going to be one easy pick off for Omega. Dagdagan mo pa ng Lord. Kenji threatening with a split. Nako po, yung mapa, kulay asul.
Parang kung titignan mo dun sa team fight na yun, hindi ganun ka-ready 100% yung ONIC-PH. Parang nagkapilitan na lang. Pero ito, counter-initiate sila dito with the ejector.
Oh, there you go. Si Curtizzi kamutikan pa, pero turn around, real world manipulation.
Dilar.
Si Dilar, medyo delikado. The General falls. That's one more pick off for Omega. clutch play, clutch decision making by Omega. And ang maganda doon, Kuya Rob, kinain lang ni Kenji Deadly Magics.
Kinain. Kayang i-absorb na ni Kenji yung Deadly Magic. I like the fact na pwede na in-ejector ni Jay pero hindi kasi nila kagad na burst. And given that si Curity Z talagang literal tumayo lang siya doon, and once the real world manipulation is online, parang ang hirap ng gumalaw. Parang ang sticky. Yun yung gusto kong sabihin. Malagkit doon sa loob ng parang swimming pool ni Curity Z.
Tingnan natin ngayon, top lane ang atakihin. Marky galing dito sa gilid, galing sa may bandang baba. Si Heat at si Kenji ang nanggugulo. Mapapush dito. Dilar nagamit na nga ang Tortoise Poisons. Mid na lang ang nakatayong tore dito ng ONIC Philippines. Alam nila na sobrang importante na itong maprotektahan kasi kung hindi, kulong na sila sa sarili nilang parte ng mapa. Pero disiplina mula dito sa Omega, they're gonna back out. And Kuya Rob, I'm gonna ask you, besides Marky, ano pang outs ng ONIC PH?
Ito, yung power spike kasi nila was on the early game eh.
Medyo past na eh.
Medyo past. Definitely, it's really way past. So, kung titignan mo rito, what are the winning condition of ONIC PH? Okay? We could start if they could get a pick-off kay HGC. Pero medyo mahirap yon dahil nagpakunat ng item si Haji plus he has an immortality. Tapos, kung papansinin mo pa yung mga taga-zone out dito ng Omega, they have this glue, they have this real-world manipulation from Eve. So, sobrang far-fetched. So, kailangan talaga makakita ng opening dito si Jay to get a pick-off, even siguro kahit -1, then i-rinse and repeat nila, pero susubukan na ng Omega pumasok.
Tingnan natin si Marky mananakap dito, makakatamaan ng Diamond, ng Crystal.
Binabalik si Kenji sa base!
And this is it. Again, it's come to the point, Kuya Rob, na parang nung kalaban ng ONIC PH ang signal, kaya lang nilang hindi pansinin yung glue. Pero ngayon, pinipilit ni Kenji.
Kumbaga, ayaw nyo akong pansinin, gagawa ako ng paraan para sa akin nyo lahat ibato yung mga skills nyo.
Real manipulation dito. Samahan mo pa ng Zaman Force. Nako, bagong formula ito. Sa may backline si Kyrie, papasukin yata ni Heat. Pero ngayon si Dilar naman ang babagsak. 2 of the tanks ng ONIC PH. Marky susunod na rin. Gawin mo 3. Double kill for Toshi. And now, pinupush na rin nila ang mid lane. Papasok din si Kenji. Pansinin nyo ako. Split. Naghahanap ako ng pwede i-grab. And right now, nako po, double digits pa ang timers dito ng ONIC PH. And it's smelling like game 1 goes to Omega.
Oh, wow. Leo, for the longest time, we've seen Omega with this kind of play. This is very flawless para sa team na to. We've seen them na medyo kinapos ng early pero all throughout, nabawi nila yon.
This winning moment is brought to you by Oppo A94. Rob, tama ka. And so far, yung glue kahapon ni Kenji, nabawi niya today. Now it's sitting at 50-50. 1 win, 1 loss. And it looks like ito ang gusto nilang outcome. Gusto nila ng glue na parang pumapasok, ng aasar, tapos eventually mag-grab, tapos mapipilita talaga sumagot.
Exactly. Redemption indeed para dito sa glue. Kung mapapansin mo nga, pagka pumatong siya doon, dinadala na siya pabalik ng base para lang talagang mawala yung pandidisrupt niya. Pero kung tignan mo rito with Kenji, during team fights, ginagawa niya, that was a grab para lalo kang mag-push forward di ba? So, ganun lang ginagawa niya. Tapos tinatangke niya yung mga damage dito, yung mga magic damage coming from ONIC PH.
Yep, the minute I saw na si Deadly Magics ay pumupunta na kay Kenji, naramdaman ko na yung desperation at yung hirap ng ONIC PH. We're gonna hear more about this game and of course, kung ano ang take ng ating resident analyst si Midnight dito sa pagkapanalo ng Omega. We're gonna go over to the analyst stand. Midnight, kwentuhan mo kami.
Outclassed is the story of the game. Omega PH or Omega Esports taking a game against ONIC PH. Welcome back to the analyst stand. My name is Midnight and tignan muna natin ang post-game stats hatid sa atin ng Smart. Now, medyo may pagka-throwback no, etong game natin. Nung week number 1, we saw Omega Esports pull off the same kind of strategy na napakaraming magic damage on their side. So, ang ginawa lang na solution ng Omega Esports is that bumili sila ng mga Athena Shield and once na nakuha na yung Oracle on the glue, hindi na nila kayang patayin yung frontline ng Omega Esports. The thing is, even Toshi, hindi na nga siya dito Hindi na nga siya nakabuo ng Athena Yung robe na lang yung nabili niya rito. Pero, the idea is there. Ang kinailangan lang ng Omega Esports dito is have a frontline that can sustain against the lineup of ONIC PH. Yung hindi burstable, and that was glue. And makikita nyo yung itemization ni Kenji rito. Even though it's a side lane glue, full utility, full tank utility yung ginawa ni Kenji rito. After the cursed helmet, which provides magic resistance, then he went on to buy the Athena Shield and then Oracle. Full sustain lang talaga sa against ONIC PH. Kasi the thing is, even though may physical damage naman on the form of the Jawhead, it's a tank Jawhead. So hindi nila kailangan intindihin yan. Majority of the damage output of ONIC PH is magic damage. Kaya nahirapan yung ONIC PH i-contest yung Omega Esports pagdating sa mga team fights, and add to that yung presence ni Eve. It does really limit the impact of ONIC PH when they're fighting against the real-world manipulation kasi kailangan nilang tumakbo from the damage output of the Harith and then the Granger. Napakaganda ng pinakitang adjustments ng Omega dito against ONIC PH. Makikita natin kung paano nila nilaro yung lineup to against ONIC PH in our game highlights brought to us by Smart. So the story is, early game, syempre, kailangan humanap ng pick-off ng ONIC PH. They do have the capabilities of doing so. It's a Jawhead and a Harley na kayang humanap ng pick-offs. Pero, kailangan nilang gawin dito is hanapin yung tamang target against Omega Esports. Kailangan nila as much as possible, yung mga cores sana ng Omega para mapigilan nila ito mag-farm at para sila din ay makakuha ng momentum with the objectives. Pero hindi nangyari yon because of the item adjustments na binili ng mga players natin. No? Specifically, Hajizi. Instead of going for the Endless Battle or the BOD, binili niya muna yung Hunter Strike. Napakahirap kasi para sa ONIC PH na pumatay ng mga cores because of the mobility. Mobility ni Haji, mobility ni Toshi, and at the same time, yung threat pa na makulong sila ng real-world manipulation. Gusto ko i-highlight actually yung ginagawa ni Kenji ritong panggugulo sa ONIC PH. Alam naman natin at this point na pwede kang sumanim as glue, tapos guguluhin mo yung sasaniban mo. You can even disrupt the positioning, no? Kahit si Jawhead pwede yung saniban, and yun yung ginawang utility ng Omega Esports. Literal na front line si Kenji rito. And look at this, di ba? Nakikita nyo yung sanib, binalik pa papunta kay Hajizi yung siya. Kumaga parang hinatid sa kanya yung kill. Oh, Haji, saluhin mo to. Tayo yung nag-dictate ng momentum na at this point. Kasi yung damage output ni ONIC ay hindi na enough to take down this glue. Ito talaga yung naging pinakamalaking problema ng ONIC PH. Yung ginagawa ni Kenji na lagi siya nasa harap, he provides vision. Kapag lumaban yung ONIC PH, mari-real world manipulation sila. So technically, ang nagdi-dictate ng teamfight dito and how it goes and how it looks like si Omega Esports. And even if ONIC PH tries to fight, the damage is superior on the side of Omega Esports. Kasi nga, hindi nare-reduce basta-basta. There's two types of damage here. There's the Harith and there's the Granger. May magic and may physical. And ang Omega naman, magic lang yung kailangan nilang i-reduce. That's why the effectiveness of the lineup ng ONIC PH ay biglang nag-trail down at hindi na lumabas yung damage mula sa lineup nila. And of course, the MVP of that game brought to us by Smart, Kurt TZ, KDA of 3012, na banggit ng panel kanina na ito yung susi for both teams, no? Yung mage supports nila. And as a support, Kurt TZ really did show up a lot to these fights, having a kill participation of 83%. Once na mag-go time na, ang bilis ng access nila to real-world manipulation. Same nung nakita natin before nung gamit pa nila yung Farsa and Eve, hindi nag-hesitate ang Omega to pull off these kinds of plays. And hindi tayo mag-hesitate, no, to pull off a live watching reward para sa mga audience natin. Siyempre, love na love namin kayo. All you need to do to win in-game rewards is scan this QR code or punta kayo dito sa ating website, fill up a form, and if you are one of the first 30,000 entries, guys, last series na tayo, baka gusto nyo maghabol, no? Baka 29,000 na, habulin nyo na yung rewards natin. Kasi kapag nakapag-fill up kayo at pasok kayo sa 30,000, mananalo kayo na skin worth of 599 diamonds. So yan, check nyo na yan. And let's move on to game number 2. Tignan natin kung makabawa yung ONIC PH or will Omega strive with a 2-0 sweep. Casters, back to you.
Mulit-muli, 100% win rate sa Eve ni Curtizi. Maraming salamat, Midnight. Thank you so much for breaking down game number 1 between Omega Esports and ONIC Philippines. Back at the Caster's Desk, ako nga pala si Leo, kasama ko si Rob Luna sa inyong lingkod. Rob, posible bang ma-sweep ang ONIC PH dito? Anong kailangan nilang gawin para hindi mangyari yon?
Well, to be fair, since na-mention mo na 100% win rate, it goes to show na
Bang!
kaya nila pinik yun. Sinasabi ko kanina, Joy is open. Since nakita natin for work, Oster Force, it worked wonders with Unravel. Pero sabi dito ni Curtizi, much better pick ang kanyang Eve.
Yeah.
And I don't think na ibibigay pa ng ONIC PH. Either na i-deny nila yon, deny pick nila yon, or i-ban na lang na muna nila.
Yeah, possible. Looking at the stats, no, si Kyrie ang ating babantayan dito, and Kyrie could be the key here. Kyrie is the only player on the side of ONIC na pwedeng magnakaw ng Eve. Meron siyang 2-1 record, 66% win rate. So, posibleng nakawin nga.
Exactly. Since nasa blue side ngayon ang ONIC PH,
Pwede. Again, either first pick it here or ban it out immediately. This draft is brought to you by Smart. Again, ONIC PH. First ban, first pick, Omega Esports, sumasagot. Diggy and Johead taken out by ONIC. Alam nila gaano importante ang isang Johead. They played it, J-Head. Pero sa side ng Omega Esports, Angela and Selena.
pag tinitignan ko dito, no, parang it looks like Omega Esports are willing to give the Eve. Ewan ko, the way, kasi mapapansin mo yan kung alam naman nila, alam ng Omega Esports that Kyrie, phenomenal player of course for the Eve. Kahit anong ang Mage Hero na pwede may bigay sa kanya, talaga magpe-perform siya. Pero the way yung banning dito, parang merong sagot yung Omega. Like, pag pinili ng ONIC PH yung Eve, and most likely gagawin nila yon pagka na-open yon as their first pick, ano kaya ang ipapang-counter dito? Benedetta is one of the heroes na nakikita ko sa mga teams natin on the MPL na parang pinanghahabol nila sa isang Eve para mapasok yung backlanes.
Yeah.
Open pa yun ngayon sa drafting phase natin, or rather in the banning, pero ONIC PH would be banning the Popol and Kupa ngayon. Nasa Omega na ngayon ang bola. Ano ba ang pipiliin nilang ban? Is it the Benedetta or is it the Eve?
Or the Matilda?
Pwede rin.
Actually, ang daming kailangang bantayan ng parehong teams dito. And Rob, gusto ko lang balikan yung sinabi mo na kung ONIC PH, i-deny pick nga nila ang Eve. Anong gagawin ng Omega Esports? I'd say the best answer would possibly be, ewan ko lang, agree ka ba dito? A Benedetta and a Granger.
Yes! Might as well.
Close the gap.
Nakita mo naman kung paano yung paggamit ni HGC with that
The machine.
The machine, yung kanyang Granger, and like what Midnight said, yung itemization niya, nahirapang habulin yung ONIC PH with that Hunter Strike as his first item right after the Raptor Machete.
Ang bilis. Tapos binildan pa ng defense item. So wait lang. Omega Esports medyo basa yata ang gustong gawin ng ONIC PH. But again, it's also possible that they are just playing safe. Alam nila na posible to. Ayaw nilang sila ang magamitan. So sila ang nagban ng Eve.
Okay, so we're going back to the drawing board dito. Benedetta is open and a Matilda. Which one? Parang ang hirap, Leo Pero my best bet, Benedetta, it's gonna be okay. Parang ang hirap kasi pag ang Granger at Benedetta napunta into one draft So ngayon, kukunin na ng ONIC PH yung Benedetta na yung Matilda, and as well with Granger is open. Or pwede pa silang pumili rito like any other side lane that they want to have on this draft.
Yup, medyo free reign. And I think, Rob, idudulo nila ulit to, si Kenji. Kasi
Pwede.
sobrang X-factor ni Kenji. Ang laki ng hero pool ni Kenji. Looking so far at the records here in MPL Season 7.
Ilan yan?
Kenji is currently running on... Again, may time na si Kenji hindi naglalaro. Pinapaikot yon. But the number of heroes Kenji has played so far is close to a dozen na.
Para siyang si Mukojin ng Tekken
Oo.
no? Parang
Kung ano-ano.
Kung hindi lang yung bastang mapili no? Talagang yung mastery niya sa mga heroes natin, talagang ang dami na. Pero Paquito and Matilda is open, and wow, Omega Esports is getting ahead on the draft natin on the first base.
Yan. So, sinasabi natin kanina, yung Matilda open. So, Matilda open, Matilda kunin. Pero yung Paquito dito, posible pa rin siyang kay Heath. Again,
Yes.
it's the first time we're seeing Heath in a while. Naka-isang Paquito na siya. It is 100% win rate. Tapos tingnan natin dito kay Kenji na kung posibleng siya ang magpakito dito. Wait lang, sorry, parang tongue twister. Pakito dito, medyo mas maganda yata kay Heath na lang kasi nakatatlo na siya, isa lang panalo.
Oh, so basically it's a 33% win rate for Kenji having
Pero
this
flex
Paquito.
pa rin.
Oh yeah, might as well. Pero ito this is what excites me the most. ONIC PH, Kyrie will be having one of his best heroes dito sa ating league nitong Season 7. Itong Kagura na to with the flame shot. Ang daming memories nating nakita kung paano na-utilize ni Kyrie itong Kagura na to.
Yep.
What's gonna be the answer dito for Omega Esports? Would they secure the Granger dito ni HGC, or they have other strategies na pwedeng i-pull off dito sa kanilang draft?
Yeah, actually, given na flex itong Paquito, ang dami pang pwedeng gawin ng Omega. But Rob, looks like they're gonna listen to you. I think I heard it right. There you go. The Granger of the machine.
Yep. So, somehow, Omega Esports securing their early to mid game. Kasi nakita natin paano sila umiikot. Like what you mentioned, itong Pakito na to, pwede pang it's a pseudo tank or pwedeng makuha rin yan ni Kenji. So, parang flexible pa yung mga draft dito ng Omega Esports. Meanwhile, for ONIC PH, pwede rin nating sabihin itong Benedetta, jungler na ni Hate.
Pwede
Or
rin naman.
pwede rin nating ilagay yan sa gold lane. So, ang dami pa rin. Flexible pa rin ang side dito ng ONIC PH.
Yeah, pero Rob, if they do give this to Hate, napakaganda ng record ni Hate dyan. 75% win rate.
75%.
Si Kuya mo J-Lord sa Jungle Benedetta.
Oh, wow. But ONIC PH would want to ban an Estes against Omega Esports. So, right at this point, parang sino kaya ang pinakamagandang tanggalan ng hero dito for the side of ONIC PH? Kasi kung ang nang-re-reveal pa lang sa atin dito, itong show na to, I'm assuming this is a tank show as well kung ano yung ginamit ng Omega Esports kanina. So, we already see the tank support of ONIC. So, wala pa tayong, it's either their jungler or their side laner. And what is open sa kanila rito? They have the capability na gumamit din ng isang Claude on their side lanes for additional damage.
Yep, again, scaling. Ang importante dito sa matchup na ito, kanina medyo, I think tama naman yung desisyon na bigyan si Marky ng Esmeralda, pero hindi lang yata nila prepare na sagutin yung Eve. So I guess yun yung hard stop. Pero wala naman ng Eve na ban out. So, scaling heroes have home once more. Omega Esports, ang kanilang ban dito ay Chang'e and Barats. So, they wanna close the gap, or actually, ayaw nila magkaroon ng gap closer. Ayaw nila magkaroon ng sagot ang ONIC PH. And ONIC PH, ang sagot naman nila dito, banning out Toshi's Harit. Kuya Rab, may tanong kasi pop quiz. Anong win rate ng Harit ni Toshi?
Oh, wow. What a tough question. Sige, I would say 80 to 90% win rate for Toshi dito sa kanyang Harit. Or are you gonna tell me 100?
100%.
100% win rate for Toshi's. Nakita natin kanina, sobrang namangha ako doon sa the way siyang nag-itemize with double assure blades. And might as well. And to be fair, si Toshi, siya rin yung mga tipo ng mga player na pwede mong bigyan. Like a Beatrix na ginagamit niya on the first 3 weeks ng MPL. Pero the way na nakikita ko to, mukhang ang magiging hero ni Toshi dito is a Forza.
Yeah, pwede siya magkaroon ng Farsa. Gagamitin niya to 50-50 so far ang kanyang performance. Pero safe yan. Again, ang ganda ng engagements, ng pag-confirm ng Omega Esports ng mga kills nila. And given this, medyo flex pa rin yung dulo kasi pwedeng tank Matilda to pwedeng post 5 Matilda to. Tapos si Kenji ang gagamit ng Pakito. And given that they banned out the Barats, parang yun yata nga talagang mangyayari.
Mukha nga.
Para maganda ang laning niya.
Mukhang Kenji, Pakito nga yata ito, Kuya Leo. So far, kung titignan mo rito in terms of Omega Esports, they somehow lack a little bit of damage in overall team fight dito. So, ito medyo magiging kicker yung final pick ng Omega. And looks like ONIC PH, judging yung kanilang mga body language, parang confident sila sa naging draft nila ngayong game number 2.
Very confident. Maganda yung coverage nila kung may babagitin lang ako, parang ang kulang nila is yung pangmalawakan team fight. They're lacking wave clear when it comes down to it. Kapag sila ang na-push in, medyo mamando-mandoin nila yung mga waves. Besides Alice, Besides Alice and of course si Kyrie, kung papag maka-farm, all of them have to do it the old-fashioned way. But hold up, tingnan mo to.
This is an old school hero ni Hit.
Classic Mr. Fundamental.
Classic Matilda. Hindi lang yan pinipik pag merong digi strategy. Nagagamit yan ni Hit on a different level. And I'm really excited, Leo, dito sa Hilda pick ng Omega Esports.
Throwback Sunday.
Ang plano niya rito, Leo, ito yung kung maaalala ko paano nilalaro to ni Hit, yung talagang nandun na siya nakatambay sa jungle ng kalaban
Doon na siya nakatira, men. Naglagay na siya ng kutsyon, may ref.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I just want to point it out na medyo manggugulo to. And ang mangyayari dito for the members of ONIC PH, mapipilitan silang mag-react kung saan nakapwesto si Hit. And that time na nagpo-provide niya yung invade na yon and as well yung panggugulo doon sa ano. Yun naman yung time ng pagpa-farm the rest of the members ng Omega Esports.
Yeah, but ONIC-PH, again, we did mention, maganda ang kanilang coverage. So, whether through the early to mid to late, meron silang sagot. Nasa execution na lang. And so far, ang sagot ng Omega doon is guguluhin namin yung execution ninyo. Kung ano mang game plan meron kayo, andito si Mr. Fundamental para pigilan yan. Game number 2, Omega Esports versus ONIC-PH. On the verge of getting swept, ONIC-PH goes back to the drawing board. Jay Cho nga pala to. Jay Cho. The tank Cho. Rob, you read it right. And so far, Jay on that show is 1-1, 50-50. So ito ang magandang pang-equalize. Pampaganda ng win rate niya sa MPL Season 7.
I like it na nag-clear yung both teams natin. Ito na, Leo, yung binabantayan natin. Si Heat, nandun na kagad sa likod ng mga members ng ONIC-PH.
Oo, papasukin niya. And actually, I'm surprised na hindi niya pa pinasok yung jungle mismo.
Oo.
Parang nag-bodyguard muna siya, nag-enforcer role muna siya. Pero ito na, nagsimula na. I just noticed, Rob, Matilda and Hilda. Mathilda.
Kung wala that combination. So, lumipat na si Heat. Mukhang hindi niya masisecure yung orange. Pero ito na, Heat, mukhang ayaw niyang bigyan ng buff dito si Heat.
Nakaisa pa, nakuha niya yung small serpent.
Oh no! Ito pa kasi yun, Leo, ang daming shield ng Omega with the guiding wind. Tapos yung passive din ng Hilda na pagka may cooldown, magkakaroon siya dun sa pagpasok sa damo.
Yes, in out.
In out. Tignan mo ngayon yung tatlong members ng ONIC-PH, hindi nila ma-worry kung paano gagawin nila dito sa Hilda na to.
Di mo mapinta kung saan nga ba pupunta, kung anong libre. And tinan mo, sa sidestepin niya lang tong turret. And again, it takes 3 to secure even the purple. Itong orange, di pa nga nasimulan habang si Kuya mo Hajizi, the machine, chugging along. Buff, camp. Kaya ngayon nagkaroon ng 500 gold lead ang Omega.
Oo, and it all goes to GC, yung talagang panggugulo rito. Look at that, Hit! Hindi pa mauunang mag-level 4 dito si GC, and that really lead could potentially give them the first turtle dito sa laro na to, Leo.
Yep, and bisita namin ng top lane, no? Ito ang lane ng mga Filipino heroes.
Oo.
O Filipino icons.
Exactly. And to be fair, lamang dito si Kenji in terms of the laning phase against Lapu-Lapu. Pero since ang ganda ng rotation dito ng mga tank and support ng Omega, mukhang libre ang first turtle nila dito.
Ang Benedetta ni Hate ay nahihirapan. Again, this is what you can expect. Sobrang binisita ni Mr. Fundamental eh.
Hanggang ngayon Ito pa, ngayon pa lang niya yata makukuha yun. That's the second rotation ng cooldown ng kanyang retry.
Oo, medyo papasama yata ang Omega dito. Heath running out. Courtesy as well with the backup. Guiding wins, hindi na nga kinailangan. Ito ang talagang plano ng Omega, the Hilda Sisters. Ang manggugulo. All the while, si Hajizi pa nga, hindi pa nga nakita ng laban eh.
Yes, pero I would like to point out as well, Leo, medyo may time frame tong ganitong ginagawa ng Omega. As the game goes by, yung mga sidelings dito ng ONIC-PH, we've mentioned this earlier, mga scaling heroes. Itong aalis na to, magkakaroon, pero looks like a pick-off, medyo nag-overstay na yata doon si Heat.
Yep, tinamaan ng Bravest Warrior at na-stun, hindi na nakatakbo ang tank ng Omega Esports. Yeah, we're talking about the side lanes dito. Kuya Rob, check it out. Marky, already 5. It seems like hindi makalabas kasi again, scaling hero itong alis na to. Tatamaan ng circling eagle. Kaha! A few hits off the feathered airstrike as well, mababawian. 1-for-1 so far, courtesy. Jay from the back, check this out. Oh! Flicker into 1. Na-save pa nga. Ibang tinamaan. Feathered airstrike. Wala pa. Ginagamit na. Flame shot from the top though. Si Jay mapapabawian pa. Oh no! Si Kyrie hindi makaporma kasi binabantay siya ni Mr. Fundamental.
Yes! Ang nangyari doon, Leo, sumobra yung flicker kasi yung Jit Kundo medyo may konti pang dash yun. So hindi tinamaan doon si Courtesy. Tapos hindi pa umabot yung damage ng flame shot ni Kyrie.
I get it. Ang ginagawa ng ONIC-PH is ina-advance yung pag-iisip. Pero ang sabi ng Omega, teka lang, nandito lang kami. Okay, easy, nandito lang kami. And again, 2 steps ahead si Kuya Mo Jay, but I get it. Omega, great body block by those other members left. Kaya nabuhay pa si Courtesy.
Kailangan kalmahan ng ONIC-PH tong early game. Hindi nila kayang sumabay ngayon sa teamfight against Omega, pero hindi yata madali yun, Leo, as Heat is forcing a lot of engagement dito. Talagang pinipilit niya rito yung ONIC-PH na ibato sa kanya lahat eh.
Easier said than done. Kuya Rob, easier said than done. Jay, matcha check dito. Kenji, naghahanap ng isang knockout punch. Wave the Dragon, ang sagot na lang dito ni Jay. Feathered airstrike by Toshi. Confirms the kill. 1 down. Mana-knock out si Cho. And right now, pressuring the side lanes. Ito, ganito na lang gagawin ng ONIC eh. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rob, ito ang dapat gawin ng ONIC na kung saan si Marky, protektahan nila yun, make space para may bawi sa late game.
Oo, kailangan nilang maprotektahan itong Alice na to, pero is like what you mentioned, hindi ito madali. All the lanes ng ONIC PH dito is unfortunately hindi nakapalag. Lalong-lalo na of course dito yung Benedetta ni Hate dahil ginugulo siya paulit-ulit nitong Hilda pick na to. Even on the top lane, Pakito is winning its lane against Dilar. That's one of the reason na kailangan, kung papansinin mo nga si Pakito hindi pa sumasama sa teamfight eh.
Kaya nga nag-switch na nga sila eh. Umakit na si Marky looking for a place to farm. Again, yan ang kailangan mong gawin, di ba? Pag may binibaby kang gold lane, tas kahit yung lane niya sa baba, yung dapat safe lane, hindi na safe, swap kayo. But even that seems to be not a valid answer. Kasi ngayon, Jay, naghahanap ng target, si Kenji sasalagin ang kanyang sipa ng kamao ni Pacquiao. And right now, iikot na ng ikot ang Omega kasi nga hanggang ngayon hindi makahanap ang Omega ng window, ang ONIC ng window.
Exactly. In type of that, kung titignan mo rito, almost 3 or almost 4,000 lead ngayon dito ang Omega. And yeah, sabihin na natin Omega, nagkakaroon sila ng lead dito. Pero mahalaga itong outer turret on the mid lane ngayon ng ONIC PH as this opens a lot of opportunity para ma-invade sila lalo. Kung kanina, hirap na hirap kumuha ng buff dito si Hate, much more kung mababasag yan. So kailangang i-hold. Hold the line yan para kay Kyrie, hindi pwedeng mabigay ang Torres sa gitna.
To be fair, I think armed ang lineup ng ONIC para pasukin si Toshi, who by the way is sitting at 0-0 and 3. So lahat ng kills ng Omega so far in this very methodical game, parte si Toshi. So ang key talaga dito is ma-shutdown mo si Toshi, saka kayo kumuha ng magandang team fight ngayon.
Yes, pero kasi ang problema nila dito, parang lagi naman late na dumadating na rin si Toshi, hindi na rin nila makuha yun with Jay. And just like that, Kenji is so tanky kahit sipain mo pa si Pakito. Hindi rin agad-agad nilang natutunaw.
Kinain niya lang yung dalawang ult.
Oh my!
Kinain niya lang yung dalawang ult. Bravest Warrior and Way of the Dragon. Habang kumukuha lang si Hajizi ng Turtle. This is a hard game for ONIC to come back from. But that aside, again, Rob, kung hindi gagana yung swap, kung nahihirapan si Marky, kung yung pagpili ng team fights, hindi nyo rin magawa masyado ng mabuti. Like, what other answers do they have? Sagutin mo to, pagkatapos ng team fight na to, hit, pinasok si Marky sa likod. Pero airstrike ni Toshi, ang lakas ng damage now. Kyrie in trouble. Nakakagat na ni hit dito. Naghahanap siya ng target. Again, back out. They're looking for more. ONIC, what do they need to do?
Oh, gusto kong sagutin yan agad pero hindi pa rin tayo pinapahinto dito ng Omega. Walang hihinga, Leo at Rob, dahil tuloy-tuloy lang. Look at hit. Ito kasi, itong Hilda na to, hindi na lang Vision yung napoprovide niya. Ngayon, kaya niya na rin is out-sustain dito yung mga damage ng mga members ng ONIC PH. So, kung tatanungin mo kung anong kailangan gawin dito ng ONIC PH, kailangan nilang sabayan. Yung ginagawa ni Hate, that's one good way. Kailangan nilang mag-force ng reaction sa ibang lanes. Kasi kung pagtutuloy lang sila sa teamfight, parang rinse and repeat. Pero what an outplay by Hate!
Sasabihin ko, impressive yung burst damage ng Omega. Pero you're right, mas impressive yung pag-alis ni Hate doon. Sword intent, full kit ng isang Benedetta ginamit niya para mag-survive ng 3-on-1 ambush. So this shows some signs of life for ONIC.
Yes, o kumbaga ang ginagawa na ni Hate dito, hinahayaan niya na muna yung mga jungle talagang nagpupush na lang siya. Kumbaga ito yung galawan ng side lane na Benedetta the segue. Pero mukhang hindi yata sila bibigyan ng space ng Omega rito, Leo.
Dilar using the Bravest Warrior para lang maka-back out. This is not a fight that they wanna take. At nagsimula na nga dito ang choke. Kuya Rob, kinukuhanan na ng orange ni Hajizi si Hate. And you're right, nabanggit mo nga kanina, I don't know if it was just a slip of a tongue, pero right now, ang laro ni Hate, hindi na siya pwedeng jungle Benedetta. Dapat magmukha na siyang side lane Benedetta kasi yun ang kailangan niya gawin. Split push. Wait lang, meron dito suntukan at sipaan. Jay on Kenji, zoning out the Pakito. All the while, Hajizi down bottom, pushing. Was that 2 turrets? Off cam, may nakuhang turret yata sa mid.
Yes, nakuha nila yon. And looking at the items dito, Leo, medyo bitin Bitin pa yung damage dito ni Hate. Hindi niya pa nabubuo yung kanyang BOD. And we all know, most of the time, ang nagiging build sa isang Benedetta, medyo semi-tanky. Like a brute force plate, di ba? Para at least makapasok siya. Pero look at the damage coming from Toshi. Oh my!
Dalawang hits ng Feathered Airstrike at 1/3, 1/4 na lang ang buhay ng mga softies, mga cores ng ONIC PH. Pero may napansin ako.
Ano yun?
Rob, may napansin ako. Kung buo na nga ba ang Blade of Despair ni Hajizi, they can confirm more kills. Yung mga ganong klaseng muntik na, it will convert into more for Omega and give trouble for ONIC. Right now, round 2, isa pa. Si Jay dito, mapapasama pa yata, surviving, missing that one last blast just by an inch. All lanes are being pressured. Again, isa lang ang tank ng ONIC-PH and it's even a Cho. So kailangan niya pang gamitin yung full kit niya para makasurvive ng mga ganong klaseng engagement. Inisip ko, may chance ba para kay Dilar? Can Dilar find a way to burst down the Farsa? I think so. That's what he's trying to do here.
Yeah.
Papasukin niya si Toshi pero nasa kabilang parte ng pader. Wait lang. Sonata misses Dilar by 1. Misses Dilar by a few. Pinoprotekta siya dito ni Jay at ni Kyrie and they disengage. So far so good. I think as long as di magbigay ang ONIC, kaya pa.
Ang hirap din kasi gawin nun eh. We all know that yun yung gustong gawin ni Dilar, na i-bravest fighter doon si Toshi. Pero sa ganyang situation, in that kind of terrain, sikip, wings by wings, pwede siyang tumalon lang sa kabila and just use simply the feather airstrike. Tapos mapapaback away niya na kagad doon si Dilar. So right at this moment, binabakuran na ng Omega ngayon itong Lord na to. And even Marky is really trying his best na makuha itong purple buff. Pero I don't know, Leo, mukhang pagka nagkaroon ng pick-off dito, this might be a free Lord para sa Omega.
Jay, wave the Dragon palayo kay Curtizi, canceling, not even letting him use the circling eagle, and that was right. Yun nga yata ang plano, and look at this, Rob.
Yes.
Naisip ko to, alam ko naisip mo to, nung kinukuha na ni Marky yung purple buff, natanggap na ni Kuya Mohate kung anong kailangan niyang gawin.
Kumbaga, ikaw na, sa'yo na yung mga buff, Marky, hindi ko na pinapangarap pa. Dahil simula pa lang nung laro, talagang pinagkaitan na ng buff dito si Kuya Hate.
Mahirap, let's see. Kaya bang ipaghiganti ni Marky? Papasukin sa likod si Hajizi. Gagamitin ang blood flow. Circling Eagle. Dito, ibang target. Hindi pala si Alice now, right? From the back lines. Tinatamaan dito ni Dilar. He survives. Feather airstrike by Toshi. Uunahin si Genji. And for the first time, may balik, may trade ang ONIC, but it results in a 2-for-1.
Yes, medyo napalalim ng konti yung pakito natin doon. Pero he was actually zoning out Dilar. And as a good synergy din with the feather airstrike dito ni Toshi. But so far, mga kaibigan, Omega rito, hindi pa rin sila ganoon ka-confident na i-secure itong Lord na to as ONIC-PH. Ito rin kasi pwedeng maging susi nila para sa pag-comeback.
Nahuli yata si Marky dito. From the bushes, si Heat ang nauna. Bibilangin ng ONIC yan. Bibilangin ng Omega rin yan. Na okay, wala akong Winter Truncheon. Guys, wag muna. Luminous Lord coming up 12 minutes in. Ito, Rob, I gotta give it up to ONIC for this whole time, despite being locked into their base, despite being down 7,000 gold.
Yes.
Hindi rin naman sila nagbibigay ng libreng Lord.
Exactly. Pero ito yan, I mean, in terms of the draft dito ng Omega, meron time frame yan. I mean, the Hilda is strong. Pero papansinin mo rito, magiging, sabihin na natin, additional body da lang siya dito. Hindi na, yung damage niya rito, hindi naman masyadong nagmamatter. It's more all about the vision. So, ONIC-PH, they just have to hold it to the point na kaya nila lang i-out-sustain dito ang Omega.
Yup, and then eventually, tama ka nga baka maging pabigat na lang si Heath na nagbibigay ng heal kay Hate or mapag-lifestealan dito ni Marky. But right now, yan ang kailangan niyang gawin. Ito naman to, body block, Heath. Okay, let's see if he can do this. Shields up, pati si Curtizi naghahanap. Oh no, nahuli dito ang General! That's going to be the feathered airstrike down bottom. Tatamaan ang ating bayani na si Lapu-Lapu. That's one down for ONIC and again round 2 for the Lord here.
Good decision coming from Omega na the moment na subukan ng ONIC-PH na mag-contest, kailangan mag-hero sila, pero ang sagot ng ONIC-PH, bawi na lang tayo doon sa may top lane.
Wait lang, Rob. If I'm not mistaken. Wait! Sabi ng Omega, Kuya Mulio, wait lang ha. Tatapusin natin to. Jay gets away once more now. I was gonna say,
Ano yun?
parang may pinaplano yatang heist ang ONIC-PH. Baka gusto nilang isahan ng Omega ulit.
Parang, at ito medyo nagiging, pag nangyari yun, it's gonna be the third time.
Onyx 11 parang Onyx 11 to
Ang matindi nun, second time pagka Benedetta ulit.
Nako. Casa del ONIC?
Casa del ONIC.
Yung
Pero
ba yun?
so far dito, is a perfect execution with the draft dito ng Omega. ONIC-PH, they could potentially defend this. They have Kyrie with the damage, even with Marky, kayang-kaya nilang i-hold to.
Yep. It's come to this again. We mentioned it at the start of the draft. Nabanggit natin to na kapag nadehado ang ONIC at kailangan nilang mag-clear waves, very specific, mawawalan sila ng pang-team fight kasi kailangan mag-focus ni Kyrie at ni Marky.
Saka kung iisipin mo rito, Leo, o for Omega, ano lang ba ang damage nila? They have the nuke coming from the feather airstrike ni Toshi and as well dito sa mga bala ni Hajizi. Pero aside from that, more on sustain na lang yung tatlo.
Panggulo.
Yes.
Para maka-focus yung damage. So again, merong rock, paper, scissors na nagaganap dito. Lord, aatakin na, papabasagin ang top lane. So that's given, ONIC-PH. Try to keep composure, disiplina lang. Mid na rin yata ang susunod. Nako po, 2 out of 3 turrets down. Bottom is the last safe haven. Nako, hate na huli dito. Ginamit niya na ba? Oh! Papasabugin dito. Not even a second chance. Feathered airstrike dito ni Toshi, and that's gonna be one more. Make it 3. Jay goes down finally. The nail in the coffin. The straw that broke the camel's back.
Oh, wow.
2 left. Kaya ba nilang tumipensa? Ang dalawang may wave clear sa ONIC PH. Papasok. Winter Truncheon. Pero na-weave in and out. Nako, alam. Oh! Hold up! Here's the
Oh!
Marky shuts down Kenji. Kyrie takes down Curtizi. Kyrie lang ang titira.
Kaya pa ba?
3v1. Nako po, might not be because Hajizi's here. The machine! This is Omega sweeping ONIC PH.
Oh, wow, Leo. And this winning moment is brought to you by Head and Shoulders. And you know what, Leo? Omega, talaga, they showed up from this series na complete 100% 2-0 against ONIC PH.
You know what, Rob? I don't know if hindi ko na maalala kasi sobrang dami nangyari, sobrang bilis. Ikaw ba nagsabi nun na ang laro ng Omega recently very roller coaster?
Yes.
Minsan ganito, minsan sweep, minsan maisahan sila tulad ng laro nila sa NXP kahapon. But then again, congratulations. I must say, congratulations and great recovery by Coach Wynot and the rest of Omega. A win well deserved for ONIC PH. Real quick before we throw over to our analyst, Rob, what went down?
Oh, wow. Masasabi ko siguro ginulat sila doon nung Hilda pick ni Heat. And we all know, even us, hindi rin natin in-anticipate na pwede pa palang gamitin ang isang Hilda ngayong Season 7.
Yeah, there were so many other options. But then again, pag binigyan mo si Mr. Fundamental, you can expect great things. We're throwing over to Midnight to break down game number 2 and the whole series.
Why was it
Omega Esports, they were in control of the whole game against ONIC PH, and parang hindi natin naramdaman na nagkaroon na sagot ang ONIC dito. Tingnan natin kung paano ba ginawa ng Omega to. Welcome back to the Analyst Stand. My name is Midnight, and ating i-break down yung control na sinasabi natin for Omega Esports. Now, looking at the post-game stats, hatid sa atin ng Smart, you're gonna see that Toshi is the MVP for Omega Esports. Maraming reasons bakit si Toshi yung MVP dito. Number 1 is the pushing capabilities of Omega cannot be stopped by ONIC PH. Isang hero lang sa side ng ONIC yung kaya mag-defend actually against Omega, and it's the Alice. And even then, lugi siya sa matchup. So the damage output of Toshi was really the key here for the objective taking of Omega Esports. Dagdag pa natin dyan yung itemization ni Haji. Going for the BOD Endless Battle Athena Shield, tapos bubu pa siya ng Hunter Strike, he went for full battle gear. No? Sabi niya, wala naman ako kailangan i-sustain. Lahat sa side ng heroes ng ONIC PH, kailangan nila mag-farm. Benedetta, Alice, yay, sumusulit na siya. Kailangan nila mag-farm, okay? So sa side ng Omega, they just needed full damage, full utility kasi may Hilda naman sila na pwede mag-soak up ng damage ng ONIC PH and at the same time provide information before they can take objectives. And sa pagdating sa objectives, napakaganda rin ng ginagawang control ng Omega. Makikita natin yan dito sa highlights na hatid sa atin ng Smart. Early game, again, the story is Omega Esports are in control of the objectives. Even though ONIC PH, meron naman silang pick-off capabilities dito with the Cho, the Benedetta, and even the Lapu-Lapu. Come the timers of Omega Esports, ganito lang gagawin nila. Level 4 si Haji, level 4 si Toshi, babato nila lahat ng skill or lahat ng ultimate sila against the hero na magde-defend sa side ng ONIC PH. So technically, burstable lahat sa side ng ONIC PH. Napalupit lang ni Jay dito, nakakuha siya ng sipa kay Hajizi, pero the thing is, hindi enough yung damage output nila para patayin si Haji rito and siya pa yung napasama, no? So Omega Esports, they are just capitalizing on the timers that they have. Hindi nila hinahayaang mapigilan sila ng ONIC pagdating sa push nila, no? Kasi may shields pa naman yung tower. So hindi pa natin kailangan mag-focus sa shield. Pwede nating bato lahat ng resources natin towards the hero, and in turn nakakuha sila ng massive gold lead against ONIC PH. And knowing na kailangan pa mag-farm ng ONIC, ang ginawa ng Omega is continuous objective lang. Every single objectives that they try to take, it was the same combo. Death Sonata into the Feathered Airstrike of the Farsa, which is si Toshi, and paulit-ulit lang nilang gagawin to. Si Marky lang yung kaya mag-hold sa side ng ONIC PH, and even then, it wasn't really enough. There was no sustain for ONIC PH against the onslaught of the Farsa. Literal na si Toshi yung naging airstrike dito against ONIC PH, and hindi nila na-survive yung pagbato ng spells ni Toshi. Look at this, damage output of the Granger even, no? Hindi kayang i-sustain ni Benedetta. They held the pick really gave a lot of information to Omega Esports that they can work with para makakalculate sila ng objective play nila against ONIC-PH. And even though nagkaroon ng magandang play dito ang ONIC-PH, it wasn't really enough. At this point, napakalaki na ng gold lead. There's a 13,000 gold lead on the side of Omega. So the damage output and the sustain will just be much higher for their side. And that's why MVP of that game, syempre hindi sila makakagalaw dito without the Mr. Fundamentals himself, Heath on Hilda, KDA of 112. Okay lang yan, hindi naman kailangan ng KDA ni Hilda. Ang kailangan niya lang is magbigay ng vision. Para kang Natalia basically. Pero ang importante rito is yung pag-soak ng damage. No? Look at this, damage taken of 73,944. Syempre kill participation medyo mababa, 30%. Hindi niya rin naman kasi ma-atake yung mga heroes ng ONIC-PH. But information was very key for Omega Esports. Kasi systematic ang approach nila dito. Gusto nila lang ng objectives. And yun ang ginawa ng Omega as they take down ONIC-PH to 0. Gusto nila objectives, tayo gusto natin ng rewards. No? Hindi pa tayo tapos, meron pa tayong rewards guys. So sa mga nanonood dyan, scan nyo na yung QR code, check nyo yung website natin, and fill upan nyo na yung form natin para magkaroon kayo ng chance manalo ng in-game rewards worth of 599 diamonds. So sa mga gusto ng skin dyan, fill upan nyo yung form natin, and if you're one of the first 30,000 guys, bilisan nyo na. Last series na tayo, last game na rin, fill upan nyo na yung form bago tayo magtapos. And for now, that is the end of the series for this week. And papatunan natin kayo sa ating mga shoutcasters.
At sasaluhin namin Midnight. Maraming salamat sa pag-breakdown ng series na ito. Ladies and gentlemen, Leo and Rob Luna at your service. Man, medyo bitin.
I was really expecting for a third game since this is the final series and the final game na rin nangyari doon kanina. And of course, week 5 is over, Leo.
Yeah, ang bilis ng panahon, honestly. I was expecting more, but just the same, sana nag-enjoy kayo dahil kami magalak na naglilingkod sa inyo. Once more, on behalf of the whole Filipino team and of course the English broadcast here at MPL, we're going to be signing off. We're going to throw it over to Mara Aquino for the interview. But before that, MPL Philippines Season 7 is presented by Smart, the official tournament telco partner of the MPL. Free game great with Smart, free games for all. Once more, this has been the last series of week number 5. Let's pray that our favorite teams still make it. Again, Group B, sobrang sikip na. My name is Leo. This right here is Rob Luna. We're throwing over to Mara to hear from Omega Esports.
Omega showed dominance in their game today, finishing the game early with a sweep. At ngayon kakausapin natin si Heath. Hi, Heath! Heath, congratulations!
Thank you po. Salamat.
Alam mo, nagulat kami na gumamit ka ng Hilda ha, kahit may Benedetta yung kalaban. Pero ito yung gusto naming malaman. Yung koponan nyo, nagpapalit-palit ng lineup. Anong reasoning behind this and how does it feel to be back?
Ano po kasi, parang nagta-training kami kasi usap po ngayon, di ba yung dalawang support? So parang ina-adapt namin, kaya nagpapalit-palit kami ng players. Yun po.
Tinalo nyo ang isang koponan na may 4th straight win. You showed dominance. At talagang, alam nyo, parang dalawa lang ata sa buong Season 7 nakakagawa na kontroladong-kontrolado yung buong laro. Kayo at Blacklist International. Paano nyo nako-control the entire game? Na talagang super control ha? Paano nyo ito nagagawa?
Ano lang po, kailangan nakafocus kami, tsaka disiplina talaga kailangan. Siguro, sobrang ganda lang ng pagka-execute namin ngayon, kaya parang dominant talaga.
Ang ganda talaga ng disiplina nyo and great execution. Talagang maraming natuwa sa pinakita nyo ngayong araw na to. Oras na para sa shoutouts. Meron ka bang gustong batiin? At ano ang mensahe mo sa lahat ng ating mga manonood?
Shoutout po sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa Smart Omega. Yun lang po. Thank you.
Congratulations! And you deserve a great celebration ngayong linggo. Bye, Heath!